Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Plaid Couch Reads Reddit Stories. Today, we're going back to the well of Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my husband to accept the compromise we agreed on for our child's name or figure out a better compromise? My husband and I are expecting a baby. We don't know the sex, but I could give birth at any time now. We have a boy and a girl name chosen. The choices generally are compromises. We didn't agree on names really and had different beliefs around names, I guess. He believes in formal names and kids having a really solid middle names as well. I believe in naming the child what you want to call them, something I got from my parents who named me and my siblings that way, and my siblings went on to do the same. For example, I'm Laney, just Laney. I don't have a more formal version of my name. I never felt that I needed a more formal name. My name works for me as a 34-year-old woman just as much as it did when I was 4. This led to some trouble for us because I gravitate more to names my husband considers nicknames. I found his choice very stuffy and unappealing, and he found mine juvenile. But he liked Theodora, and I liked Thea, and we agreed eventually to the full name for him, but I'd always use Thea. For a boy, we went with Declan for him and Dex for me. Again, with him using Declan and me Dex. But my husband doesn't like that I only say Thea or Dex. It bothers him that the full name gets ignored, and he said he believes my family and a lot of our friends will use the names I do. I told him the compromise only worked on the grounds that was okay, that he could use the full name and I could use the nickname. He said the full name seems like it will be ignored otherwise, and I should use both to make it more fair, and I told him that's just him getting his way. I told him if he wants a better compromise, then he better come back to the table willing to look at different names before names like Bryn, Lyra, Piper, and Freya were ruled out by him for not meeting his standards of formal, because they're shorter names. He said they were nickname light, but shorter, more formal names feels like the only other possible compromise for us, and he doesn't agree. So I told him he needs to accept what we already compromised on, and we find a better compromise, which doesn't mean him getting his way. He told me I'm very dismissive of his concerns, and I told him I was already going with a legal name I didn't care for under our compromise, so he should be more willing to work with me if he wants to change the names. Am I the asshole? As someone with the name Tegan, it's a name's a name.
Yeah. Well, then I was thinking of Matthew.
Yeah.
People call you Matt just as much as they call you Matthew.
Yeah.
And it's like your formal name doesn't get ignored.
Yeah. No.
People still call you Matt, Maddie.
No, people actually freak out because they're like, "Oh, do you go by Matt or do you go by Matthew?" I'm like, it really doesn't matter. And I'll have people tell me which one. I'm like, dude, call me Maddie for all I care. I don't.
I was gonna say I rotate between Maddie and Matthew for you.
I mostly either call you Matthew or Maddie also. Well, then I think of my brother Jacob.
Yeah.
Like when he was younger, my grandparents used to call him Jake.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And as you get older, as the kid gets older, they're gonna decide what they want to be called anyway. But it's like he didn't lose his full formal name. Like he prefers Jacob. He'll correct people if they're like, hey Jake, and he goes, no. The only person who's allowed to call him Jake is my grandma. She's the only one who gets a free pass.
She does say Jake.
Yeah, she says, hey Jake.
Yeah.
Or she'll call him Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
It's like I have some family members call me Tag or Taggy. It's
I like Taggy.
Yeah, we do Taggy a lot over here.
It's just something. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you guys prefer to call me. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
It's just like, I don't know, who cares? Like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like it sounded like she was willing to compromise, and it still wasn't good enough for him. You know what?
At least her name's not Cove.
I'd still
Call back.
Call back.
Cove's a great name. But you know what I really hope happens? I hope the kid's born. They're still arguing about names. They're arguing about this kid's name the rest of its life. And then the kid turns 18, changes his name to something like bizarre.
That'd be a real ball.
Brad.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for telling my wife that she is being irrational for wanting to turn the Wi-Fi off at night? My wife, a 33 female, not my wife, this guy's wife, has been very interested in biohacking and nutrition and all that. She is always trying new things with her diet, health, sleep, etc. Recently, the focus has been on perfecting her sleep. As an example, she bought red lights and glasses to completely eliminate blue lights in the bedroom at night. She and I both agree that it has been quite nice and less stressful on the eyes at night, although I cannot tell you if I'm actually sleeping better, as I still lurk Reddit at night. A true Redditor. Today she told me that she wants to try turning off the Wi-Fi at night to help improve her sleep with fewer electromagnetic waves. I said no because the negative health effects of Wi-Fi have been long disproven, at least last I checked. And I asked her how exactly would she be able to measure the benefits of the Wi-Fi being turned off uh versus is being purely psychological. I think it's a slippery slope to have irrational factors that she wants to test. Next, it would be crystals and whatnot. It's not real. She thinks it's unfair that when she wants to make these changes, I make her feel like she needs to come with scientific studies to prove her point. My fear is that this is a step towards crazy. Of course, I feel like I'm the asshole and told her we could try it, but now she would be more motivated to dig her heels in and say that it is helping her.
I will say, I understand like trying to decompress after staring at screens and all that all day. That's something I've tried working on, especially with days where I edit for hours. You know, I've tried to not watch TV at night or have a screen close by. I've I've found a spot to put my phone to keep it away from me so I'm not scrolling through my phone at night so I can get better sleep.
Awesome.
But Spectrum already shuts the Wi-Fi off enough. They suck ass.
My Wi-Fi gets shut off at midnight every night. It'll shut off for a second and then it'll come back on.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it does that.
That's the electrodes making their way into your body for the night, and then it comes back on.
But I'm not taking it to that step. You know, I'm trying to find that happy medium that works for me. Because you know, I stare at a screen for almost 8 hours a day at my job, and then for a few more hours for Plaid Couch. So it is nice to decompress, and then there are some days where it's just I spend it outside or working on things away from any sort of screen, and just to help my eyes adjust. Those blue light glasses do help. At least the pair I've gotten. I'm sure there's plenty of knockoff brands out there, but shutting off the Wi-Fi is a little too far.
I feel like it's not a screen issue. It's like this girl's just
She's
on the wrong side of the internet.
Yeah, she's going down a rabbit hole that on all sorts of things. So, I mean, you're more than welcome to give it a shot for a little bit, but or you can have her turn it off. Say you gotta use the bathroom in the middle of the night, turn it back on.
What if she was so sensitive though she would realize
She'd
that?
wake up.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Like the fuck was that?
I don't know. It's like somebody just turned the Wi-Fi off. Am I the asshole for saying just leave at my cookout? My sister, Nicole, 34, brought her new boyfriend, Steve, to our family cookout yesterday. It's for about 30 people. For the sides, everyone brought their own sides. My sister brought one bag of store brand potato chips, and Steve helped himself to beer right away, before being introduced to everyone. We were having hamburgers and hot dogs and just hang out with the family, nothing fancy. Steve asked, "Is this it?" when the first plate of hot dogs is done and waiting on a round of hamburgers. My wife says there will be hamburgers soon, and Steve tells my wife and sister about his family and how they have barbecue chicken, steak, shrimp, and many options. I picked up the plate of hot dogs and told Steve he could leave and go to his family barbecue instead. He just looked at me and drank his beer, and I told him and my sister to go since this wasn't good enough for Steve. I gave my sister her store brand potato chips back and told her to get out. My sister and Steve left, and the cookout was fine after that. My mom heard about me kicking them out and was mad about me doing that and told me to apologize to my sister. Maybe there was a misunderstanding, but Steve was an asshole. Just commenting like that at someone's house. I feel like this guy's already answered his own question, but whatever. My wife thinks that I was right because Steve acted like that in our home, and insulting the host is a good reason to be kicked out. Others are split about what happened. Am I the asshole?
It seemed like it escalated real quick.
Yeah.
There was no discussion at all about
Like-
what Steve was talking about. And if I were in the situation, I would have thrown it back a little bit at Steve. I would have thought of something. And then if he would have continued to do his little side comments and whatnot, I'd probably kick him out. But you got to play along a little bit just to see if...
Now this guy sounded like he wanted nothing as Steve's bullshit.
Mhm.
And also, there's nothing wrong with store brand potato chips.
No!
I grew up on generic brand. I just like, if you want to throw shade at this guy, that's fine. Leave my great value chips out of it, please.
Yeah, they probably put more in it than Lay's does.
Like,
big old bags of Barks.
Yeah.
it's like Doritos are like $7 a bag anymore. Of course I'm gonna get generic brand.
Ooh, I just bought Doritos like yesterday.
Not all of us are loaded like you, Matthew. But this guy was a little bit of an asshole for, complaining about the store brand chips. But other than that, like, you know what? It's your house and your barbecue, and if you don't want them there, you have any right to.
You're right, you do have the right.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Matthew. I would have maybe waited a little bit more, but
But also, we don't know how.
there could be more to this.
There could be more. He or she. It was she who was in charge of the barbecue, or he.
I think it was the guy's wife.
Oh, the guy's.
The poster's wife.
Okay.
Was like the host.
There might have been something where they just know Steve already, and he might have a history of
It didn't sound like it. 'cause it
being
sounded
this way.
Like he didn't even introduce himself. He just went over to the beer,
Oh, gotcha.
which that is rude enough.
That I agree.
And I also get that too because I host a lot of parties and stuff at my house, and a lot of times I will just, just take care of the food and not worry about it. Nothing ticks me off more than when I host a party and I've got a nice spread of food and then somebody will like complain about it or something's not good enough. And it's like, okay, you could have brought something maybe.
I thought you were gonna say someone brings something that doesn't match the theme.
I will say I had a fancy wine night one time and I made a magnificent cheese board, one of my best. And Tegan walks in in Crocs and a hoodie with a
Khakis on.
with a
He
on.
did have khakis on.
with a paper plate with Kobe Jack cheese on it and a box of Ritz crackers.
And I think salami.
It was a hit though.
I will say my cheese board had hella leftovers. There was hardly any Ritz crackers and Kobe Jack cheese left. And it did not fit the theme of the night. But you know what?
I
Hey,
tried my best.
I will say you didn't complain about my cheese board. I'm pretty sure that was the same wine night that I was like, hey, I got this $30 bottle of wine, which is huge for me. Like, I normally don't spend more than $20 on wine. It's like, here's this $30 bottle of Riesling I got. I poured everybody a glass and we cheers. And who chugged their glass of wine like an asshole?
Matthew?
It was pretty good.
No, it was me.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
He just downed it, didn't
Yeah.
he?
Uh-huh.
in my defense, it was for the crowd.
It was. He was getting
There's
cheered
like
on.
4 people there.
Everyone loved it.
Everyone.
Folks, invite these two to your next wine night. They definitely know the
I'll make
lingo.
sure to put my pinky up when I'm sipping.
I do it all the time.
And we have determined that Tegan is indeed the asshole for ruining my wine night. That's why he's
I don't think it was ruined.
I made it
I
enjoyable. for
remember
everyone.
somebody making a big deal about stuff that kind of ruined it, but
Yeah, Jalen, you just need to be a better host.
Thanks for watching this episode of Plaid Couch Reading Reddit Stories. Let us know in the comments who's the bigger asshole, Tegan or Matthew.
Uno reverse.
The world will never know.
nose goes.
Make sure you like this video, share it with all your friends, subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified when we make more of these.
Don't get Kobe Jack cheese.
That's my job.
And leave a comment letting us know what your favorite kind of cheese is. And if you say the correct answer, you can come to my wine night.
Do not bribe our subscribers.
See you next time!
Bye, everybody.
Au revoir.
I'm gonna